the reason that in the definition the Earth gets represented once and humans get represented twice, I think speaks really how the term and the aspiration of sustainability evolved over time. And so really post-World War II, I think there's been a lot of literature on what emerged as the primary values or very common values after World War II. And they were really peace, freedom, development, and environment. And the two of those that were under the most tension or most directly related came to be development and environment. And I think as those terms became joined actually in sustainable development, and sustainable development is usually recognized as becoming a formal aspiration with a document called Our Common Future, or in 1987 that's commonly called the Brundtland Report. That sustainable development kind of led to, well, what is it that we want to sustain and what is it that we want to develop? And there were environment, when we said, what do we want to sustain? People were in there, and life support systems were in there, and nature was in there, and communities were in there. And when we said, what did we want to develop, those were really people and economies and institutions. And so I think what happened was that if you talked about kind of development and environment got represented once, and as development, people were talking about development, there was a growing concern that that was coming to mean only economic development, and that we were leaving people out of that equation. We were leaving all the sort of cultural and social aspects out of that. And then it was going to become just a question of increased GNP. And so that's when people really started to talk about development not only in terms of economic development, but human health and happiness, or human fulfillment as a way of development too. So I think as that grew and that body of thought and literature developed, I think that's how humans got represented twice, that development actually got represented twice and environment got represented once. And so really, yeah, 2 legs of the stool, of the 3-legged stool, actually end up being human-centric.